All right, everybody, how's it going? Coming back at you guys with another live today. eCom Tom here. I don't think I did a live last week. I kind of forget, but before we get into it, please be sure to smash that like button. Let's get this video out to as many people as possible. Everybody here right now, please smash that like button and let's get into it. So in today's video, last time I went live, I think it was like a week and a half ago, I talked about how a lot of people have been getting flagged recently, or there was a recent sweep of people getting flagged on eBay on their dropshipping stores. Also, please let me know if you can hear me and who's here, what your name is, did you get flagged, did your account get in trouble, anything like that, have you seen any issues recently? So while I get into it, pretty much it seems like people were getting flagged. A lot of people did get flagged. But if you were doing it correctly and you weren't using the big three suppliers, like I always talk about, the Walmarts, the Amazons, and the Home Depots, then it seems like most people were pretty fine. So they didn't really have any issues. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about here today was, what was happening and why, how to avoid it. So pretty much, if you were using Amazon onto eBay, I don't know what to tell you because I've said not to do that for like a year and a half now. So if you're still doing it and you got in trouble because of it, then I can't help you much on that. You need to stop doing that and you need to stop doing Amazon onto eBay. So let's get that out of the way first. And then after that, there's the Walmart and the Home Depots. And I'll admit, I was saying you can still use Walmart, you can still use Home Depot, up until about 2 weeks ago. Because, I saw people doing Walmart. Yes, you had a higher chance of most likely getting MC011 violation. But also, I wasn't seeing anybody getting flagged because of it as long as you were doing non-API related software and you were all set. You usually were all set that way. So it's still an iffy situation because I know people are using Walmart and I know people aren't getting in trouble, but I think the best thing moving forward for everybody in this niche that still wants to be doing retail dropshipping should be looking for other suppliers. So that's pretty much what I want to go into in this video, and that's pretty much what I want to be talking about in this live. So before we get into it, we got Ariel Martello here, says hi Tom. Momd says good. D-Man says, hear you loud and clear, Austin, Texas in the house. There you go. I've always wanted to visit Austin. I have yet to get around to it. And the current state of affairs in the United States seems to make it hard to travel. I became both power seller and top rated, but seems flagged yet. I'm not sure what that means. Saab, that was not proper English. Did you get flagged or did you not get flagged? Let me know. Okay, Cordial says, hey, hello, Tom, and then says, Mom D says, I use Walmart as a supplier and I got flagged. So like I said in the last live, it pretty much seemed to get down to the fact that it was like if you were using Walmart as a supplier, you got flagged. So how are we going to go find other suppliers that aren't Walmart? That's pretty much the whole entire purpose of me doing this live, and that's what I'm going to get into. So I'm going to bring the chat over here, and always ask your questions. I'm going to go into my computer. I'm going to explain a few things. I'll probably go on a couple side rants and not see all of your questions right off the bat. Also, if you're new here and you haven't been watching a lot recently, check down below, and I do have a free dropshipping mini course, eBay dropshipping mini course for you to get started on, if you're confused with anything that I'm saying. So I'm going to go into OBS Studio and I'm going to click share screen and me. So this is what you guys should be seeing my screen. Let me know if you do see the screen. I can actually just check as we go. And pretty much this is the suppliers list on SKUgrid. And I bring this up a lot, but I don't always bring up, what should you be looking for in a supplier? I always go, yes, these are a bunch of suppliers. There's tons of them. But I don't always say what you should be doing, what you should be looking for, and really how to find a good one. So I'm going to be going over that in this video. So I made a little list of 10 bullet points. I didn't want to make it anything too advanced or too crazy here, but I did want to just bring up a few major bullet points. It'll take probably 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll get to answering all the questions. So number one is going to be pretty easy here. You want to make sure it's not a well-known supplier, and I'm going to make this as big as possible. I don't know. I hope you guys can see that. You want to make sure it's not a well-known supplier. So even though there's other ones that people use like Sears, Kmart, Lowe's, stuff like that, if you truly want to get out of the way of possibly getting in trouble by eBay sometime down the road, you want to make sure that it's probably not any of those suppliers. I teach inside of my course suppliers that aren't any of those suppliers. I do plan on coming out with a list for people inside of the retail dropshipping course for eBay that's like 20 to 25 more new suppliers. So you don't feel like everybody's using the same like 5 to 10 suppliers that aren't the well-known suppliers. But the main thing here is that wholesale dropshipping is allowed on eBay. And the closer that you can get to a wholesale supplier, hopefully it is eventually just wholesale suppliers, the better your store will be in the long run. Yes, there's probably still people dropshipping and making $5,000 to $10,000 a month using strictly Walmart. But the real question is, with people that were using Amazon onto eBay back in 2018 and we thought it was the best thing ever, I was part of that crew, and then everybody starts getting flagged. You never know when it's going to come. You never know when it's going to hit you. So you want to make sure that you're doing what's right from the get-go so that you're not running into these issues later on down the road where all your hard work could possibly get squandered. So, number one is make sure it's not a well-known supplier. So if you're scrolling through here and you see something like AliExpress and you know that Tom always preaches, please don't use AliExpress. It's going to take forever to get the item. eBay doesn't usually necessarily like it. Then just move on to another one. Like I said, there's 450 United States-based suppliers here inside of SKUgrid, and SKUgrid's pretty much the only one that I say or like I actually preach to use on eBay. I don't ever talk about anything else. And what is an unknown supplier? Like, what the hell is Pure Formulas? I have no idea. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. But I also wouldn't be selling supplements. But again, nobody's really heard of Pure Formulas. eBay's most likely not looking out for Pure Formulas. At that point in time, you're most likely good to go. So let's look at number two. Number two is to have clear shipping policies. And, just for sake of anything, like if I brought up Cabela's, I believe that they have it. At the top of the website, it usually says, I don't know if it says it right here. It'll usually say like free shipping over some amount of money, or, anything between $1 to $10 is, $5.99 shipping, $10 to $50 is $6.99 shipping. You just want to make sure that you understand their shipping policy. It doesn't matter if it has free shipping or not free shipping. You really just want to make sure, like right here, it says 0 to 50 is $5, 50 plus is free. That's a clear set in stone shipping policy. Even if it doesn't have a clear set in stone shipping policy, you just want to understand what the shipping policy is for that supplier so that you know what to look for and so you can actually go out there and calculate potential profit margins later on down the road for this supplier so you know if you can compete or not compete. So I use some suppliers that don't have any set in stone shipping policies, but if you add it to the cart and you send it to, one specific zip code, like that's what SKUgrid will do, then you can usually get a pretty solid, consistent shipping cost right off the bat. And like I said, please ask your questions. I'm not sure. There's been a decent amount of questions as I've been going. So that's number two. So let's go into number three here. You want a favorable return policy, as favorable as possible. You want a return policy that when you're searching through, and remember, always scroll down if you're on Cabela's, and I believe Cabela's does not like dropshipping that much, so don't take my word for this as much, but for, as this being one to use. But go down to the bottom, click on return policy, and learn what the return policy is. If they're making it like hard where you have to call them and you have to do this or that, or you have to, put this specific RMA inside of the box or else they're going to get mad about it. If they're making it very hard, then that means that they most likely don't want you drop shipping these items, because if you're drop shipping the item, then it's hard to actually, have an extra step added into the return policy. You want to make sure that it's at least just something where you can contact them. They give you the return label or an RMA number or a place where it says right here, return back to customer returns at Cabela's LLC, whatever, Prairie du Chien, I think that's Wisconsin. At that point in time, you understand how it works, and it's not like it's going to be a confusion or a hassle every single time there's a return. So that's a big thing, because returns do happen. People will say, oh, I'll just put no returns. No, even if you put no returns, you can still get returns on your items no matter what. As long as people complain, eBay will always allow for people to get returns no matter what. So number 4 is going to be private label brands. So pretty much I've always showed this. Like I'm just going to use Walmart as an example, even though I say not to. Walmart private label brands. And at this point in time, you can find the list of their brands. You can do this for a lot of different actual suppliers out there. But also you can, if they don't have like a Wikipedia that shows their private label brands, like here's their major brands or whatever, even though that's list of Walmart brands. Like, I know Mainstays is the main one, but I don't. There it is, Mainstays. So here's their major brands. This is a whole list. It's all on Wikipedia. Not every single supplier has a Wikipedia about it, but again, search it, look it up, and at that point in time, if you can't find anything, then just always call them or go to their support chat, and that will lead into one of the other points. If they don't have, like, you need to be contacting these suppliers. You know, that's how you're going to get the best answers out of them. And also, you're going above and beyond and doing work that other people aren't. So also check if they have a cashback or discount program, because sometimes there'll be people out there that, you know, cashback monitor. There'll be people out there that are doing, you know, are clearly dropshipping from these suppliers, but also at that same point in time, you don't know how to compete with them. So if we're going to use Cabela's as an example, you know, now all of a sudden you go to cashbackmonitor.com, you check their cashback, and you can see that, you know, from all these different cashback websites, they have different amounts of cashback. There could be a discount policy inside of their actual website. There's some places where you pay them $50 a year or whatever, you get to be part of their buyers club and you get 10% off. I believe Cabela's might have that. And at that point in time, that's another way to compete on these items. Number 6 is probably one of the most important ones, and it's usually not on their website. But you could type in whatever the supplier is plus tax exemption, or you could just contact their customer support, call them, hit up their support chat and say, hey, do you guys offer tax exemption? Tax exemption is going to be the number one way to compete with these different suppliers if other people are also selling them. So that's going to be like probably the most important part of it. Number 7, this is going to be a crazy thing right here. Look for possible wholesale or the mention of dropshipping. So I'm going to give away one right here. This is one I've never ever put effort into. It was one that I thought about doing and then just never got around to it. And, you know, it just surprised me that a lot of people, maybe some people do dropship from them, and I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sweating, it's extremely hot where I am. But maybe they don't. Who knows? If you're looking right here, there's one called Jeffers Pet Supplies. I don't know if these items are good. It says free shipping on most orders over $49, but if you scroll down to the bottom, it literally says wholesale program right here. They have a wholesale program. If you do Control F and type in dropshipping, they don't mention dropshipping. But here's some customer support right here. You could call them up and, you know, here's their application. You can electronically submit your application. Now you literally have wholesale pricing. You know, I don't know if they allow you to resell on marketplaces. Who knows? That's up to you to ask them. But again, this is one that I've known for a while now, and I just never got around to actually using it. I'm not a farmer. I don't really know what the items really are that much, and I'm not very familiar with it. But you know, here's one. That's a big giveaway. There, like, you know, that's an easy one right there. I want somebody after this to apply to to Jeffers Pet Wholesale Program, and I want you to tell me how it works, because if it's good, then I'm gonna hop on it too. Make sure that they have a support chat or an active customer support email. So if they don't have a support chat, make sure that they have here's a live chat right here. Look on their website. Make sure they have at least a live chat or a customer support email that they're active on and answering, because if not, and you need to do a return, or maybe they don't allow cancellations on their website, if you have to call them every time, it ends up being a huge pain in the ass, and you don't want to deal with that. Like, it's just not worth it. There was one supplier I was using for Amazon that literally did that, and I stopped using them because I could not get in contact with them very easily other than actually, you know, calling them. And I hate having to call them nonstop, because then, you know, it's just a pain. Number 9 is going to be other sellers selling them on eBay or Amazon. One of the best ways to find if they're selling it on eBay or Amazon is find their private label brands and then search them in eBay and Amazon. As long as that company isn't selling on eBay or Amazon, somebody else is actually selling those items, then at that point in time, you know that somebody else is most likely drop shipping those items on eBay and on Amazon or on Amazon. And then last but not least, ask your questions. Hopefully I didn't bore you. It seems like we have a lot, so I'll get into it. Last but not least is make sure that this company is not selling on the platform themselves. Like, I know people do sell Overstock onto eBay, but Overstock does technically still sell on eBay. It's not this isn't just a win or loss right here, because you can still definitely make sales even if they are selling on eBay or Amazon. And sometimes maybe they're only selling on eBay and not on Amazon. Sometimes maybe they're only selling on Amazon and not on eBay. but it does make it harder. It does make it a lot harder to compete. And personally, if a company is selling on Amazon, I wouldn't mess with them. On eBay, I feel a little more risky on eBay. I would possibly mess with them. But again, is it worthwhile to try to compete with the company that is going to be selling it for cheaper because you won't be able to compete with them? It's not always worth it. I know people that do it, and it does actually work for them. But again, it's not the easiest method. And if you're just starting, you would want it to be the easiest possible method to get the best results over time with the least amount of work. And also just search through here. There's literally wholesale dropshipping suppliers on SKUgrid now. They're putting more on all the time. And they don't really mention all the time when they put new suppliers on here. So keep a list maybe. Who knows? Copy and paste all of them and check if there's new ones. Like, there's many ways that you can do this, and I feel like there's just a lot of people being lazy and just only really going with the 3 main suppliers. So that's that. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. I'm going to go back to just me. I'm going to move this over here, and we are going to answer questions now. So where am I? I left off at I use Walmart and supplier, and I got flagged. So Ted Bastos is here from Brazil. Thank you for showing up. I hope that you enjoy this. Hopefully you learned something. And also, if you did enjoy what I was just preaching, please be sure to smash that like button. We got 50 people watching right now. Let's get at least 50 likes on this video by the end of it. But we do have about 45 minutes left to go. So, I think we got some time. I'm going to put my glasses on. Hopefully they're not too blurry. Barry DeHart says, hey, Tom, I like to buy outright and ship myself. Okay, that's wholesale. I mean, there's pros and cons of doing wholesale. There's pros and cons of doing FBA. There's pros and cons of doing dropshipping. Again, with people that don't have as much capital, buying up front, it might be a risk. Also, if you're selling, I would never buy wholesale and sell on eBay. I would buy wholesale and sell on Amazon. But eBay just, it's not as big of a mover as Amazon is item-wise. And I really just don't personally think that it's the best idea. But if it works for you, it works for you. Seb says, I think I am flagged, although I recently became power seller and top rated. Yeah, you can become top rated, you become power seller. I don't even know what power seller means. Like, it means literally nothing. But you could still get flagged easily. Luis Perez here in Venezuela, my account was closed. I'm sorry to hear that, but you did not provide very much information there, so I don't know if I can help you on that one. Juan Luis Gonzalez Garcia says, hey, Tom, how's it going, man? We got Momo Brown in here. Hey, Tom, how's it going? Differential equations. How many % of your business is retail and wholesale? So, I have stores that are specifically retail, and I have stores that are specifically wholesale. I'd say that right now I'm probably about still 60% retail, 40% wholesale, but I do plan on moving that to, probably 50-50 and then the other way, more wholesale than retail over time. And I really feel like FBA is going to be one of my bigger plays that I'm doing. I just got a pretty big deal today with a legitimate brand. I contacted them. I picked up the phone. It was scary. I had to talk to somebody, and I talked with them. I schmoozed with him. You make it sound like you're a big dog or bigger than you are, and like you really know what you're talking about. But for me, selling on FBA and buying like bulk freight orders, I'm not very familiar with it, and I've only done it like twice. So, I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I sound like I know what I'm talking about enough for these people to actually give me contracts with them. So, it's working out, and I plan to go more that route and get allowed on, Amazon. You can sell these items on Amazon. You just need to buy a minimum of $2,000 worth at a time. At that point, it's free freight, things like that. That's kind of where I'm starting to try to put a lot of my efforts into. As well as finding a lot more wholesale dropshipping suppliers. Jameson Griffith is here. I don't think Jameson Griffith has missed a live in like forever or maybe ever. I'm not sure. So it's wild. I appreciate it. Thank you for showing up. Momo Brown says like $50. I'm not sure what that was in regards to. D-Man says, have you used AutoDS? No, I would never use AutoDS. They only have, like, the whole purpose of what I just said was to go find other suppliers, and I think AutoDS only has, like, 5 or 6 suppliers. I think some of them are, like, AliExpress and China brands and DHgate or whatever. I'm not down to use those. I don't think it's a good idea, and I suggest you don't as well. WeSun says, hi, Tom. Can you explain tax exemption for international seller? That would take forever, and I really don't know what is the way to do it. We have not only one person inside of the course that all of our courses that you can hire to do it for you. We also have another student that made a course for our students inside of our course that is pretty much him explaining how he does it, and then you go out and do it on your own. It doesn't, you have to get like a US based business in some way, shape, or form. You have to, I don't know, it doesn't seem that hard, but like I don't know enough. So MomD is answering WeSun, you need a US LLC to get tax exempt from your supplier. You don't need an LLC. You need at least an EIN number, I believe, but again, I'm not sure. D-Man says, when you use these different suppliers, do you request to get tax exempt from each of them? Yes, I do. I actually have all the sales tax certificates in almost every single state, so I can get tax exempt to pretty much every single state, and it definitely is beneficial in that way. But again, even if you don't have sales tax exemption in all those states, it does, or sales tax certificates, it still helps to go out there and reach out to other suppliers, and if they do ask for all those certificates, then, at least you need to get them eventually, and, that's the thing. So, may I know whether we can register LLC through online? How much will it cost? Yes, you can register things online, and it costs some amount of money depending on your state. Hi, Tom. Love your courses. Thank you, Gulf Beach Stroller. Do you allow your VAs to choose which suppliers to pick to source from, or do you specify? Oh, no, I would never let my VAs pick the supplier. I think that's a recipe for disaster unless your VA is smarter than you. If you think your VA is smarter than you are, then allow it. I would not do that. What I do mainly for my dropshipping stores nowadays, or for anything, is find the suppliers, find the best way to source items from these suppliers, and then at that point in time, make videos on it, send it to my virtual assistants, and then that's how they source from that supplier, whether it's sourcing FBA, whether it's sourcing dropshipping, whether it's sourcing wholesale dropshipping. Find the supplier, find the method, create the spreadsheet based around that supplier that best fits that supplier, and then at that point in time, go ahead and make a couple videos on it, and then you're good to go. So JDM Label says, does TrackerBot semi-auto work? Yes, it does. Any BCE tracking could potentially flag your account. Dropshipping is dead on eBay. I don't know. No, it's not. eBay doesn't want Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, or retailers as a supplier. Yeah, dropshipping is definitely not dead on eBay. Wholesale and retail is definitely not dead. Like I said, the whole entire point of this video was to pretty much prove that you should not be using Amazon, Walmart, or Home Depot. And Blue Care Express, I haven't ever preached Blue Care Express tracking numbers. Noah's in the house. How's it going, Noah? We need to get on your channel, or you need to get on my channel. We'll do another live sometime soon. We'll hype it up. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be in New Jersey this weekend, actually. Then after that, I'll be back home for the foreseeable future. That is not English. I don't know what that says. Control sus. Where did we go? Oh, it skipped ahead. D-Man says, I know you don't like AliExpress due to shipping times, but what do you think about Banggood? No, I mean, that's literally the same thing, D-Man. I have never and will never drop ship from Chinese drop shipping suppliers. It just literally makes zero sense. Once you realize how easy it is to actually get wholesale contracts and do everything the legitimate way, I don't see why you would ever go and do AliExpress. I don't see the point. The only way I would go to China and do things is if I was using, not AliExpress, whatever, Alibaba, buying in bulk, doing a private label or something like that. That's the only way I would do it. But still, even then, I don't see the real need or the foreseeable future that would even be a thing. Do you use TrackerBot? Yes. I don't know if my VAs are still using it for eBay, the semi-auto one. I haven't even been keeping up with them on that, but I know for a fact that we're using it on Amazon. But either way, as long as you're using the semi-auto on eBay and, on Amazon, it doesn't matter, then you're good to go. Greetings from the Bronx, New York City. Thank you, McFiggy, for showing up. McFiggy, that's a good name. Tammy's in here. I have used Jeffers Pet, and they are very good about supporting resellers. There you go. So I just pointed out a very good reseller, wholesale supplier, and if you guys aren't also using this, then you can't say that I didn't give you something for free. Then at that point, it's literally your fault. You have to get ungated for pet supplies. We're talking eBay here. You don't have to get ungated for literally anything. How do you manage uploading tracking info since TrackerBot does not work with many wholesale suppliers? If you're using the software that I talk about inside of the course for wholesale dropshipping suppliers, then at that point in time, they can automatically upload the tracking information for you if you're doing the auto ordering. And then if not, then just have a VA do it by hand, or ask TrackerBot to integrate with that supplier. TrackerBot isn't set in stone that they can only do a specific amount of suppliers. I've asked TrackerBot to integrate suppliers before, and they've done it. Like you can ask these software companies to do things for you. That's one thing I feel like a lot of people don't realize. How do you think all of these suppliers are on SKUgrid? SKUgrid is literally only has all these suppliers on there because people contact SKUgrid support and say, hey, I want this supplier on SKUgrid. And then SKUgrid goes out of their way, codes it, does whatever. They can do it in literally like a couple days. And then all of a sudden now your supplier is on SKUgrid. It's as simple as that. Excuse me. D-Man says, do you also do FBA, just dropshipping, or both? Do you recommend to do both? I do FBA now. I think I've only been doing FBA for like a month now. It depends on how much money you have. If you have a couple $1,000s that you don't mind, like being hung up for a bit and possibly like you breaking even on or losing money if you screw up your first attempt, then you're probably pretty good to get started. That's why I preach dropshipping, because a lot of the people that get into making money online when they first get started don't have that much money, are usually in some, debt or something like that, and they need money fast. And FBA is not the way to be doing that. But once you start building up lines of credit, maybe you have large credit limits in general on your credit cards. Like I probably have like $300,000 a month in credit limits that I could use. At that point in time, then you can utilize other, facets. It doesn't even have to be your own cash. But even if you are using your own cash, then at that point in time, I would say, you want a couple grand. You could do it with less, but you get more buying power. You can usually get cheaper prices if you're buying more in bulk. And then at that point in time, you might as well. Somebody else said, Jefferpet does do dropshipping on Marketplace, but you still pay sales tax even though you are tax exempt. You can ask them to refund your sales tax. All right, that sounds fine to me. It's somebody. If you haven't been using them and you start using them and you start making money, then you have to let me know. You're welcome. How do you go about your tracking? Again, there's multiple different ways. If they're on TrackerBot, if they're not on TrackerBot, it's really not that challenging. You can have a virtual assistant uploading them all, or you can have TrackerBot. It really isn't a big deal. Thanks for the tips. You're welcome, Ariel. Hi, Tom. How do you handle your supplier being stocked out after selling the item on eBay? Number one thing I would say is try to find it somewhere else, a different supplier that may have it, a fill-in supplier, anything like that. It's going to help you out. If not, and your account's semi-seasoned, then I would just wait until, the end of the handling time. Check to see if it comes back in. If not, then just cancel it at that point in time. It seems like eBay and Amazon are being a lot more lenient, especially still during the whole COVID thing that's going on right now, because I don't even think Amazon is counting late shipments. Like I've had a couple late shipments in the past couple days, and they haven't even in the past week, and they haven't even like mentioned them or put them on my account. So I don't think that they're really doing anything. Dan Z says, how's your wholesale store doing? Pretty well at the moment, but I am working on just trying to get it a bunch of it onto Amazon as well. And I want to start using like a multi-channel software. I think I'm going to go with Channel Advisor or Solid Commerce after this weekend, because I am going away this weekend and there's not going to be much brain power being used. I can guarantee you that. After I'm done with this weekend, then I will be making a definitive decision on it and then going from there. And I'll track my entire journey as I usually do. Kay Hilfiger retracted their comment, message retracted, but you did comment later on, so I'll answer that. What do we need to do if we provide and pay for return label, but customer sends it back with their own shipping label? That's their fault. They screwed up. That's their own issue. And I really wouldn't. If you get actually refunded by the supplier, I would still refund them. But it's you can't fix stupid is pretty much is the saying that I say all the time. You can't fix stupid. And, you know, that customer was clearly stupid. Like, I remember having customers back in the day when I was doing huge volume Amazon onto eBay. Like, I think one year I did 55,000 orders. You're bound to have a bunch of mistakes happen. And I had people just sending items back to my house without ever opening up a return, just thinking that the thing to do for a return was just find your address from PayPal and send it back to your house. Like, that was a normal thing to do. I've had people send me back things with notes in it, with people. You can't fix stupid. That's my only saying. Amazon locked my buyer account after first order. Now they all the time refuse billing documents I send from bank. What to do? Stop using Amazon as a supplier. That's your number one issue. Momo Brown says congrats. I'm not sure what the congrats is for, but thank you. Kay Hilfiger says, all right, where are we? All right, we're good on the comments right now. If you got any comments, ask them as we're going along here. We got about 30 minutes left, 61 people watching right now, so be sure to smash that like button. Let's get it up to at least 50 likes during this live. I would like at least 50 likes. It would be much appreciative. Thank you very much. And anybody that's watching right now, like I actually appreciate every single person that's watching, because you're taking time out of your day to sit here and listen to me yell at a camera for like an hour, which is amazing. And you know, you're clearly dedicated to your craft. I want you to take what I said at the beginning of this live, and if you showed up late, then please go rewatch it once it gets reposted. Yes, it does get reposted every single time automatically, so don't worry about that like you missed something. But one thing I want to say is actually take action on what I said. I gave you 10 very good points to act upon, to actually vet out a supplier, write them down, internalize them, go through that list of suppliers. Because if you just watch me, and maybe even I did give you away a supplier like Jeffers Pet Supplier, whatever the hell it's called, and people have been saying that they're good. But again, now that this video is going to be seen by 1,000, maybe 2,000, 3,000 people, you know, that supplier might become a little swamped. So you still need to go out of your way, put in the effort, and actually do this. This is a business, and you can't your business can't be doing exactly what Tom says on the internet for free. At some point in time, what's the number one thing an engineer's job title is, or an entrepreneur or a business owner's job title is being a problem solver. And if you can't go out there and solve problems, and if you can't go out there and figure things out on your own, then, you know, it's not going to work in the long run. You can go drop ship Walmart onto eBay, you know, do what everybody else is doing, and then eventually get flagged sometime down the road, say, oh, eBay drop shipping's dead, and then cry about it and quit. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have done that. But again, if you want to actually be in this for the long run, and if you want a sustainable business, not just a little hobby that you do for fun on the side, then you need to be taking action on this. So with that being said, let's get back into it. Rant over. Hey, Kay in Arizona, how do you ask the stores to become a seller for them? You know, it doesn't really, there's no real one way to do it. Call them, pick up the phone. Again, I feel like people nowadays are afraid to pick up the phone and call somebody. It's the easiest, most effective way. Like, have you ever tried to have an email conversation back and forth with people? It doesn't work. I don't know why email is like the number one thing that people do nowadays to communicate, but it's the dumbest form of communication ever. Text message, like, how many times do you text somebody and you can't tell if they're being sarcastic, or you have no idea what the hell they're saying, or you forgot to answer it and then you leave them on read for 2 days straight? Same thing with email. Well, I can't even type without looking at the keyboard. Why would I want to email you back? If you talk to somebody on the phone, then they're going to be way more likely to actually, you know, bond with you, actually have a sense of communication, and, you know, you actually connected in some way. And then at that point in time, you can get your point across 25 times faster and, you know, get the job done. David wrote us, hi Tom, I just subscribed. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. I just got deactivated from Amazon after only 1 week. I think maybe I scaled too fast. 1K a day in my first week. Yeah, that's way too fast. I need to pivot. Should I switch to eBay or start a Shopify? I wouldn't start Shopify. You clearly seem to, you're doing this wrong. When you first get started, you should be looking into, you know, learning the basics and going from there, not just like bulk throwing everything into this. If you do the same thing that you just did on Amazon, on eBay, you'll get banned too. So it's as simple as that. You need to really break down the fundamentals and why you did what you did, and really make sure that you don't make those mistakes again. Because if you go out and do that same exact thing again on eBay, you're going to be banned. And if you try this on Shopify, it's going to take forever because you're going to have no idea what you're doing, and Shopify is extremely hard to get off the ground. That's just me. That's my 2 cents. I'm sure if you hire somebody, you could get your Amazon account back. But again, make sure that if you get deactivated on Amazon that quickly, you just threw away like $100,000 to $1 million potential asset that you could have had. You threw that away in 1 week because you grew way too fast and were reckless in your behavior. And not that I'm just pointing you out and saying that you did everything wrong, but you need to think fundamentally deep down why you did it, and then make sure you don't do that again on any other platform, because you do see the issue of screwing up and how quickly you can get reprimanded because of it, or see the repercussions. Matthew Sager says, can I use one SKUgrid account for multiple eBay stores? No, you can't. Or would I need to use another SKUgrid account? Yes, you would. Also, could you touch on the best way to add in supplier shipping costs so you can still offer free shipping? SKUgrid literally does that for you. You just literally, in your pricing formula, you just click add in supplier shipping, and then you're good to go. What's the best product monthly sales range we should go for? Anything that's greater than 5 times a month when you're sniping it is definitely going to be good. Again, once you get to a certain saturation point of finding all these items, it's going to be hard to find any that are 5 times a month, or like after a while. So I lower it usually. But when you're first getting started, if it sells 5 to 10 times a month, it's going to be a damn solid item. Noah says, definitely hit me up when you're in Jersey. I'm going to be in South Jersey, like pretty much I think I'm going to be in Delaware at some point in time too. So I don't think that's near you, but I'll let you know anyways. I'm going to be driving through the area. If the VA logs into eBay from overseas, will that be a problem with eBay? Back in the day, I used to say no, and it's still not an issue with eBay, but eBay does actually sometimes say, oh, your account has been compromised or whatever, and please go in and change your password. Then I change my password, and then I just let my VA back into it, and it doesn't happen for a while. They do have sub accounts for eBay now, but they absolutely suck. And then last time I checked, if you logged in from outside of the United States, it didn't even let you in, even with the sub account. So eBay's really behind the 8 ball on that one. I'm going to tell you that, because I think Amazon has had that for like years, possibly even a decade now. And eBay's just moseying along. WeSun says, is that easy for international seller to get a wholesale contract? Once you get a U.S. based, business of some sort, an EIN number, then there's no difference between you being international or a U.S. based citizen. Even inside of the course, we have somebody that will teach you how to get a U.S. bank account, U.S. phone number, U.S. address. At that point in time, you are a United States person. You're good to go, and there's really no difference. It is definitely more work to get started up front, but, again, over time, it's going to be much worth it. Sab says, do you use tactical arbitrage or something similar for product research? I use tactical arbitrage for FBA product research because that's what it's for, but I'm no way, shape, or form a tactical arbitrage expert at the moment. I literally just only use Zik Analytics for eBay. And then there's a whole host of different software you can use for Amazon. They're all pretty much the same, like Ace Inspector Pro, Jungle Scout, AMZ Scout Pro. I've been using AMZ Scout Pro, and I like it. We can work out to have you and Jason on the channel. Yeah, I'm down for that. Tom, started Discord. Not a chance. I have no idea how to use Discord. I have it on my computer, but I've never really used it. And I have enough stuff going on right now with Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook groups. I do not need a Discord. And I don't really know what the point of a Discord is. Unless you can tell me something that's amazing that any of those other platforms I just mentioned don't have, then I am not starting a Discord. McFiggy says, I can't stop laughing at your name, dude. Thank you, Tom. Watch you all the time. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Did you take a course for FBA or just talk to someone who does it? Honestly, once you start dropshipping for long enough, FBA kind of just makes sense. It's just it's the same thing, product research-wise, except you make sure that other people have been selling FBA. There's a couple other people on it, and then, you can even use the same suppliers if you wanted to do retail. or if you go wholesale, you can do wholesale. And then at that point in time, you're just buying in bulk, contacting the supplier that you're going to, and maybe trying to get bulk discounts or anything like that. And at that point in time, it's pretty much the same. Yes, my buddy that I'm going down to visit in New Jersey, in South Jersey, has a warehouse where he's been processing, FBA items. He's the prep center or whatever for Amazon FBA before it goes in Amazon FBA. He lives really close to the FBA center, wherever it is in South Jersey. I forget what it is. It's like A8, E8, or whatever it is when you send something into FBA. He lives really close to that, so if you ship it to him, then at that point in time, it's only like 20 or 30 cents per pound to ship it into that Amazon warehouse that's really close to him. So he kind of showed me a little bit of the ropes and like what software to use, but really there was almost zero difference in the software minus using Inventory Lab. And besides that, it's pretty much identical. It's just different profit calculations to make sure that the items are still profitable. You have to add in an FBA fee and then a price per shipping, unit wise or per pound wise into the warehouse, and you should be good to go. I'm sure there's courses out there. I haven't looked into any, and I don't really have any that I suggest. SJ says, should you delete out-of-stock items on your eBay store, and do you need to register an LLC to use wholesale suppliers? Everybody just thinks you need an LLC. LLC is a form of business, and that's just not. You could have an S corp, you could have a corporation, you could have a sole proprietorship. You need a business entity, and you most likely will need an EIN number. If you can get an EIN number, then you can apply to any wholesale supplier you damn well please. To answer your first question, should you delete out-of-stock items on your eBay store? It really depends. I don't think it's the biggest issue. Some people do, but it's, if you are running out of room to list on your eBay store, then yes, delete your out-of-stock items. But at that point in time, I wouldn't make it something that you're caring more about deleting your out-of-stock items than finding new items or finding new suppliers. You should care more about finding new items, new suppliers, making more sales than deleting your out-of-stock items. Because honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. Everybody says your sell-through rate, it's completely BS. There's people on eBay that are absolutely killing it, dropshipping from strictly wholesale dropshipping suppliers that have like hundreds of thousands of items on their store, do like a $500,000 a month in sales. You think that they check their out of stocks and delete each one every day? No, they're doing everything in huge bulk, and that's that. So you got to think about it in like a logical, larger scale, and it'll make sense then. Zeus says, hey, I made it. Well, glad to hear it, Zeus. And he says he has a question. How can you not let eBay know that you're dropshipping? It doesn't really matter that much. As long as you're doing it properly, they'll always figure it out. Like, they'll know. As long as you're dropshipping properly, then you really won't have anything to worry about. Like I said at the beginning, although it says that you just made it, so I'm sure you didn't see the beginning, so watch that later. Just don't be dropshipping from the Amazon, Walmarts, or the Home Depots anymore. I gave 10 great tips on how to get started. If you are a beginner, also check down below because I do have a free eBay dropship mini course, and we are 1 like away from 50. So I'm going to up the ante. We need to get 60 likes on this video. Let's get at least 60 likes before I get off this video. I got about 18 minutes left. I could go over. I'm not sure how many questions there are. But I would very much appreciate it, and I thank anybody that came out and watched this today because it does show that you are dedicated to actually learning this craft. And, personally, I don't even watch live videos that often. So the fact that there's always this many people watching it goes to show how dedicated you actually are to having success in this business in the long run. All it will take is not giving up. I can't stress that enough. You cannot give up on something like this. When there's going to be hard times, there's going to be times you lose some money. There's going to be times where you're like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm completely lost. But if you never give up, and you always just come back later and try again and try again and try again, eventually you will succeed in this business. That's the beauty of the online business, specifically selling on e-commerce. No matter what, you will be able to succeed as long as you keep trying and trying and trying and actually fully learn the business model. It doesn't care where you're from, who you are, what color you are, your economic background, anything. As long as you learn the ropes, you will be fine to actually sell on eBay, Amazon, any other platform out there and actually see success while doing it. So that's all I have to say about that. And whoever downvoted, grow up. Amar Sajid says, which category is selling well on eBay? It doesn't really matter. All categories sell well in their own right. Sports and outdoors, home and garden, business and industrial, tools, home improvement, anything like it. There's always a category for somebody, and there's always going to be good categories out there. Where are we? Guillermo says, hey Tom, do we need resale certificate to buy from these suppliers? I'm from Brazil. Congrats. It really depends, what suppliers you're talking about and anything like that. If you're using retail suppliers, you won't always need a resale certificate. Sometimes you will. It really depends supplier to supplier what they're asking from you, so I can't give you a solid answer for it. D-Man, would you pay for inventory source? I would, and I do. Teach that inside of the wholesale course. The Sim Racer says, yo, just got started with eBay dropshipping. I contacted eBay to have my limits increase, and it was made active. However, I can't list more than 2 items so far. That doesn't make sense. And it was made active. I'm not sure what that means. Call them again. Facts ability to solving problems is Bay. I don't know what that means. I'm really grateful for this video. Thanks, Tom. You're welcome, Zeus. How do you grow too fast? If people want the product, then I don't understand what happened. I've only sold a few things on eBay. Still very much beginning here. So you have to think of it from this perspective. You're brand new on eBay. eBay has no idea who the hell you are. You just started a brand new account. They look at you and you're just like any other beginner. Somebody that they have no background on. They have no prior idea who the hell you are, and they don't know if you're fraudulent or not fraudulent. You have to realize there's a lot of people coming on eBay to fraud people, to scheme people. I could go on eBay right now, buy a bunch of items, say that they never showed up, and I know exactly how to scheme the system to most likely get those items for free. Because I've been selling on eBay and Amazon for so long that I know exactly what trick to do. You can easily do that. You can do it the other way around. When you're selling items, say, oh, I sent an item, and then you send like a friggin' paperclip in the mail with a tracking number. The tracking number said it was delivered. They don't know who you are. You have no track record with them. So if all of a sudden you start selling, brand new account, no track record, no history, brand new PayPal, although PayPal is pretty much getting ousted in like the next week, and then you just start selling $10,000 the first week, think about it from eBay's perspective. That looks sketchy as all hell. It looks like you're fraudulent, and they're going to most likely ban your account and put you through some checks and balances to make sure that, you are who you say you are, you're doing what you should be doing. Do I think it's right that they ban you instead of just asking you for things? I don't think that that's right, and I don't think that's normal, but that's just the way that they do it. They're going to ask you for invoices. They're going to ask you for proof of where you're getting your items from. If all of that checks out, then they'll let you get back. But if it doesn't check out, then you're fraudulent, and at that point in time, then they keep your account banned. Is the simplest way that I can break that down, and I don't really know how to explain it in any other fashion here. Eric's here. How's it going? Eric's the Instagram guy. He's killing it, and I couldn't thank having Eric enough around, because without that, I would be a lot more stressed out than I am. Is SKUgrid file exchange safe enough compared to API? Yeah, use the non-API versions like file exchange or their token. Ali says, hi Tom, I just joined your live. My biggest issue is finding wholesale suppliers other than Alibaba, I'm assuming, or AliExpress. So neither of those are wholesale suppliers. What do you suggest, please? I have a plethora of videos on finding wholesale suppliers, some of which were posted within the last 2 weeks. I suggest leaving this live, getting off of it, and going and watching those videos. That's your best bet, because I've given like 5 to 10 different examples of how to be finding these wholesale suppliers relatively easily. And whoever downvoted, again, childish, completely childish. Let's get up to 60 likes on this video. I would appreciate it before the end of this. We got 12 minutes left. Demetrius says, if one of your items gets too saturated and you're making little to no sales on that item, do you delete it? No, I don't have time to pay attention to that. Leave it the same or reprice it. If you reprice it, what's the lowest margin you will go? I won't bother doing that. If you have that much time on your hands, then you need to be listing more items. Like, sure, go through maybe every once in a while and check your listings, but if you're going through and you know enough about this one listing that you know that it's too saturated now and you need to go lower the price or something, That's just way too much. That's way too much effort. Just list more items, find new suppliers, and kind of just go that way, because that's just a lot. It's a lot. Miguel OJD says, hi, love your videos, watching from California. How do you get tax exempt? Is it store by store? No, it's not simpler than that. It's store by store. You're going to need some form of, a resale certificate, some form of an EIN number, and go in there and get tax exempt. We hit 61 likes. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. eCom Tomcat still says it's time to smash that like button, though. Thank you very much for showing up, eCom Tomcat. Every single live, there's Jameson Griffith and there's eCom Tomcat. Two most consistent ones out there. I don't know anybody else more consistent than those two. I appreciate it. True fans, thank you very much. If you find a supplier in SKUgrid and you don't find most dropshippers use this supplier to snipe them, can you list any good product without... Can you list items without sniping it? All right, let's think of it this way. Somebody had to have gone out of their way to find that item, to put it on eBay or Amazon first in order for you to go out of your way and snipe them. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? Somebody had to have listed that item, gone out of the way and found that item and listed it. Of course, you can go find items that aren't listed on eBay and list them yourself. Somebody had to do that first. Every single one of those items that's on eBay that people are dropshipping, somebody had to have listed it first. Like, you can't, they didn't just magically show up and then people sniped them from the snipe god. That's just not how it worked. And you can go out of your way. Go find the best sellers on the website. Go find items that have high ratings and actually, some amount of good feedback or whatever, and go list those items. I mean, it's as simple as that. What should I say when I'm talking to a store about me being a seller for them? What will they ask for, and what would win them over? You just have to talk really nicely in their ear. No, I mean, just sound as legitimate as possible. That you're an online reseller. You work with multiple other suppliers. You want to add more to your arsenal. You really looked at their items and they really fit the bill. Having a personal website or some form of a website will work wonders. And at that point in time, they don't ask you too much, but some of them will ask you more than others. And the number one way to figure this out, Kay, is by going and doing it and screwing up the first 5 times. You need to get over the fact that you will definitely mess up. I still mess up. I got denied by somebody the other day, and I got accepted by a pretty large company today because I schmoozed them very well. It just takes trial and error, and eventually you're going to realize what works and you're going to figure it out. And I trust in your ability to do so. So we got 9 minutes left. I'm going to get through these last couple of questions right now. If you have any last second questions, please be sure to ask them. Whoever came on and downvoted 4 times, again, that's childish. You definitely used multiple accounts and you were one person. I can guarantee that. Yokas Miro, what's up, man? I had 5K a month for my first month on eBay dropshipping. That's great to hear. I definitely think that that's a good number to hit. I wouldn't go much higher than that in your second and third month, because at that point in time, I don't know if you were on earlier, about 10 minutes ago, where I was explaining that if you're a brand new account and you just start selling like wildfire, eBay doesn't really have any track record on you and they don't know who you are. So that's when you're going to get hit with MC011 most likely. So if you sell just a normal amount for the first 3-4 months, at that point in time, it just makes sense to, to eBay and to anybody else that you're slowly just growing your account, you're growing your store. You want to make it seem as organic as possible, because the number one thing dropshipping allows you to do is sell out of control, like wildfire. I've opened a store before, a year, 2 years ago, and I sold $63,000 in the first month on that store. That's the power of dropshipping, because you don't have to hold the items, you don't have to buy the items, you don't have to do that. But that's also the Achilles heel of dropshipping, or the issue with dropshipping, is that pretty much you're going to grow so fast that these platforms don't trust you. So I appreciate that you hit 5K. That's awesome. That's great. But I would not grow much further than that. Mohammed Aziz says eBay dropshipping is very competitive. So this is another thing here to say. Let's think about this. eBay, everything in life is competitive. There's 330 million people in America. There's 7 billion people in the world. If you don't think that everything in life is competitive, then you're lying to yourself. What is going to happen in anything in life? People going and playing major league sports, people going and getting, a good degree from college, from like your high school or whatever, like 95% of people will fail at most things. You need to find what you're good at. With e-commerce, there's a large percentage of people that will fail because they don't think outside of the box. They're only going to go out and use the same 3 suppliers that I said not to use at the beginning of this video, even though I provided other videos and, other suppliers, and actually, gave you guys advice. There's going to be people that don't care and that don't want to succeed in this. If you think it's competitive, there's always a way to make yourself stand up from the crowd. There's always a way to make yourself, stick out and sell items. And at that point in time, you'll be fine. Oliveira EN. Yes, I did miss your question. Sorry about that. Sorry for missing one question on this entire live. How do you give access to the VA of your credit card to buy items from the suppliers where I don't use gift cards, and you just give them your credit card? There you go. I answer your question. Unknown drummer dude. I wonder who you are. You're unknown. I bought your course last week and working through it now. I should be up and running very soon. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad. Hopefully you liked it. It doesn't sound like you don't like it. If you didn't like it, you'd probably say it. So I'm going to take it that you do like it. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we got 5 minutes left. Let's get 65 likes on this video before I get off. I appreciate it. I'm going to answer every question. I'm sweating like hell right now. So ask any last questions here. Where are we? Oh, my hat's real sweaty too. I went for a run in it the other day. Zeus says, what do you do if you find a supplier that no one is dropshipping from? Is it a good thing for a beginner, or do we move? If you're a complete beginner, I would not start with a supplier nobody's dropshipping from. First off, I'd probably be pretty hard pressed to think that you'd find a supplier that nobody's using. That's just me, especially as a beginner. You're probably not going to find a supplier that most people aren't using or nobody's using. And honestly, if you're a complete beginner, I would look for a supplier that somebody is using, or at least some people are using, because it's going to be easier to find items, and it's going to be easier to, get some listings up before you really know or like have the feel of how eBay and Amazon or Amazon dropshipping works, because it definitely does take some skill and some ability to look at an item and say, I know that's going to sell. Because like I'll look at items nowadays and just be like, all right, list that, list this, list that, and I'll be good to go. But, for somebody that's just starting off, it might be a little bit harder. D-Man says, I just came across your channel today. Def appreciate all your info and knowledge. # keep hustling. Thank you very much. I mean, you were on the live the whole time, so I appreciate you being here so much, and hopefully you watch some of the other videos and get some good knowledge out of it. Kay says, thank you so much. I take your advices to heart. You're welcome. You should, and you should take action on, on this. Like, this is the one thing that I always get confused by, is that people think that they're going to be good at things when they first get started. Nobody's good at anything when they first get started. Like, when I first started dropshipping, I listed like 5 items up on eBay. I forgot they were even there. I never connected a repricer to them. I didn't do anything for like a month because I was busy doing other things and not paying attention. And then I sold like 8 items that were out of stock. I canceled them all for the wrong reason. I went below standard. I called up eBay. I schmoozed them. I got my account undone from below standard. And then I took things seriously from there on. That was literally my first month dropshipping. Like, I clearly had no idea what the hell I was doing. And even for a while after that, I still had no idea what the hell I was doing. But I had infinite time. Well, I did quit my job. Like, I did have other incomes at that point in time besides a job. But I had a lot of time to be able to spend on this. And I've spent nonstop time honing my craft. Like, it's literally, people say it takes 10,000 hours to be a master at something. I have no idea how many hours I've spent, but it's countless thousands of hours. I've worn out one computer chair, completely gone. Like, the whole thing, every bit of padding, there's nothing left in it. I'm on this other computer chair. This one's probably going to be decimated soon. Like, that's the amount of time and effort I've put into this. You can't just expect to be good at something. You didn't pop out the womb knowing how to walk. Like, you had to crawl first and kind of learn how to go about it on your own. And that's if I was to say anything, that's the moral of the story here. Mr. Joshua says, thanks for your time, Tom. I will be signing up for your wholesale course. Appreciate it. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions about it before you get signed up, and I'll happily answer them. Let's get social info says, competition is good. Very true. I think that too. Eurytheon says, thumbs up, Tom. Thank you. Weeson, I had my account banned for selling Vero products. Okay. When I first started, as for now, I am using other account. I am still safe to create another account by using the same PayPal account or totally go stealth. You should be fine. I mean, usually when you get banned for Vero, it's only for a couple days. Also, check out my Vero video I just launched on YouTube like last week. Tips for a complete beginner, first time, give it a go. Watch all my YouTube videos and never give up. Rebecca K, do you know any Aussies that do well in the Australian market, or is it the market? There's definitely people that dropship in Australia. Australia definitely, I think, was one of the first ones to say that retail dropshipping wasn't allowed. I'm not sure. Go into one of the big Facebook groups or whatever. You know, there's a few like very large ones. I run one of them, and then just ask if there's people from Australia doing well. There's definitely some. But the people get quiet over time, and I'm not sure if they've stuck with it. I have no idea. Confused on what course to start with, eBay dropshipping or eBay wholesaling course. I mean, it's really up to you. Do you want to get started with a slightly less legitimate, possibly slightly more risky business model, which is retail dropshipping? Although I did teach at the beginning of this video how to find retail suppliers that you should be fine with. Or do you want to start with wholesale dropshipping, which is going to take a little bit more time to hone your craft, I would say. Definitely a little bit harder to get started, but also the more legitimate and long-term version of it. It's really up to you. At this point in time, I'd say it's a 50-50, but moving forward in the future, I'd say you want to be working more towards eBay, wholesaling, dropshipping, just because I could imagine these platforms will get more strict as time goes on. That's just the nature of the beast, and that's just how it's been since I've started 3 years ago. Things have gotten from, you could get away with anything on eBay 3 years ago when I first started, and nowadays it's definitely a lot harder to get away with things unless you have accounts and accounts on accounts that have already been doing this for a while. Gary says, if you get MC011 on one account, will you also have the same restriction on other accounts tied to that account? Most likely. I'm not sure, but I believe that is what's going to happen. I've never gotten MC011, so I don't know. Noah says, what are you doing with your chairs? I'm sitting in them for thousands of hours, Noah. That was the analogy. 10,000 hours to become an expert. If you sit in any chair for 10,000 hours, you're bound to wear it out, Noah. Maybe you just don't sit in your chair long enough. Maybe you're outside bicycling or whatever you're doing on your Instagram story too much. No, I'm just playing with you. Oh, I kicked my camera. Oh, God damn it. All right, there we go. We're about over here. This has been over an hour now. Tips to not get your account flagged. Don't sell the suppliers that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Watch the beginning of this video. That's my tip. When did you start? New sub. I started probably 3 years ago, like almost to the date. I started in, I believe, August of 2017. I was just fiddling around with it for probably, like I said at a couple minutes ago in this video, like about a month. Listed some items, had no idea what the hell I was doing. Left them there. Then I know I started getting serious about it in like September a bit. I hired a virtual assistant just because I had no idea what I was doing and just spent a bunch of money and just wanted to blow money, I guess, even though I didn't know what I was doing. I had my virtual assistant sourcing items for me when I went to Oktoberfest in Germany. I remember that, and it's called Oktoberfest, but it was actually in September, end of September of 2017. And then when I got back from that is when I started taking it very seriously. I quit my job like 4 months afterwards, but I was flipping cell phones and doing other things on eBay, so I did have an income, and I did have money because I was living at home for a while after college, and I was working an engineering job. And then in 2018 is when I never worked a day of a 9-to-5 job in 2018 at all. 2018, 2019, and then seven full months in 2020. So it's been 2 years, 7 months without a job. It's been like 3+ years, or around 3 years of doing this. And other things online, probably like 4 years. Yeah, long story short. Thanks, Tom, for the info. Great explanation. Thank you very much. Zeus says, thanks for coming live. I go live every single week almost and answering all our questions, Tom. Thank you very much for showing up, Zeus. And eCom Tomcat says LOL. I'm assuming because I kicked my camera. All right, I am done here. I went 3 minutes over. If we could get 70 likes on this video, 2 more likes, I would very much appreciate it for everybody that's watching. You know, for me, in taking the time out, the least you could do is give 1 like. That's all I ask in return, because at that point in time, this video will be seen by more people, and more people that will come on, like D-Man, who just found my account today, Zeus, who seems to be new, Felipe, who said that they were new sub. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, you said it's cool. It's been a long journey, I can guarantee you that, but it'll pay off. I mean, you always have to believe that what you're doing is the right thing, and what you're doing will, you know, bring you success in the long run. I guess I got pretty inspirational this time. We hit 72 likes, so thank you guys very much. And that's about it. There, if you're new here, there seems to be a lot of new people. Check down below. We do have a free eBay dropshipping mini course. Besides that, watch my new videos, and if you're new and you're watching my videos, watch anything from 2019 onwards, because older videos might not necessarily always be still accurate today. But from 2019, like January and February of 2019 onwards, you should be fine. Every video should be applicable. And that's where I'll leave you guys. So thank you very much for showing up. I appreciate it. I'll be doing another one next week, and have a good night. Thank you.